right. Welcome everybody to the Rodriguez Project here at Mastermynd Media.
Please remain seated.
What's up, Molly? How you
Hi.
doing? We should sing throughout the whole podcast. What if we
I'll
made-
be down.
Absolutely not.
Is there a musical podcast like
Yeah.
the Rodriguez Project, the musical podcast?
Like in the future, there could be.
Yeah.
There are musical improv podcasts where they like improvise actual musical numbers, which is beyond my skill set.
So,
But we were doing something similar before we started.
yeah, we could. What if we did a spoken song?
I mean, don't tempt me. Speaking to a former theater kid here,
Wow.
it'll get real annoying really fast.
So Molly does a lot of different things, and Jai is here as well. What's up, Jai? How you
Hey,
doing?
what's up, you guys? Please don't do a musical podcast.
Hey, at least she keeps it real.
Jai,
We
you can
don't-
see yourself out.
No.
Hey, turn yourself around.
For God's sakes, turn around.
There it is.
All right.
So Molly does music. She does acting. She does stand-up comedy. I met you in Michigan, and
Yes.
it's our journey is wild. I never would. I don't know. I met you as you like helping us out at Paris Films.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know Paris prior to that, or was that?
I think I kind of met you guys all at the same time because it was through a mutual friend, Amy, and she was like, "Hey,
Winehouse.
yes, of course, Adams, our close friend," and she was like, "Hey, this film company, they need an assistant," and I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
I said yes to everything, as in I still do.
Yeah.
But then I met you three beautiful people, you, Paris, and Dre.
Yes.
And then yeah,
And were super helpful to us. And it was like, oh, she's really great. But I didn't know so much about you even. I mean, I think I knew you were an actor, but it was like, it was more so you helping us out as an assistant and really like helped us change the game over there. But then found out you're moving to LA and all the other amazing things that you do and how talented you are. So we're going to
please,
try to
go
pull out
on.
all the different talents throughout this podcast. So, but you've been in LA how long now?
almost exactly 3 years.
Almost.
I remember
Exactly.
exactly, yeah.
Like tomorrow?
September something. I don't know. I don't track dates very well. Late September.
Late September.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice. This is almost 3 years
Yeah.
as I'm rounding up on 18. Wow.
Yeah, tomato.
I
Yeah.
am ancient. But I remember my first 3 years, and you've done way more in your first 3 years than I did in mine.
Really?
Congratulations. I don't know
Oh,
if that's...
thank you.
I thought I was going to do as much as you're doing, but
We always, I don't know, like I was definitely one of those Delulu girlies who was like, yeah, I'm going to book 3 co-stars in my first year. Okay, flash forward to like 2 months ago when I finally got a decent agent after
Yeah,
3
yeah.
years.
but that's what it
It's
takes.
not how it works, guys.
Yeah, it's just how that's what
Yeah.
it takes. And then now there's a strike going on. There's but there's so many other different avenues. But I just loved how you were able to, just your skill set within like. I wouldn't even say is an assistant, but just your way of navigating maybe the internet, organization and like all of that. But then seeing you put that into your own work as well to like run your career as a business as well. Is that something that do you even realize you do that?
No.
No?
Okay. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like just like your skill set. And like, I think what I mean in particular is like when you first, like we're going out to find an agent and how you like attacked that. Cause those
Oh.
are like skill sets that it took me 10 years to realize, oh, you have to like present yourself properly. You have to be strategic about your reach outs. And then it's a numbers game at that point. And then you can start getting some feedback versus being like, I'm a waiter at a restaurant and like, I hope somebody discovers me. And I say I'm an actor, but I don't go to class and I just go out to the club all the time. That was my
Totally.
strategy.
Yeah, I mean,
Didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. For me, some of it feels like common sense, but then other people talk to me, and I'm like, oh, I guess it's not, and I guess I'm just trying to gas myself up now, apparently. But like, for example, the agent thing, like I've always just like sought out so much of the business info that I didn't know. So before I moved here, it was just like hours. And when I got here, it was like I already had a lot of shit like in place and knew what my game plan was, etc. But it is interesting you say that because like the agent thing, for example, that's a whole very difficult thing, as any actor knows. But the one that I just got, like I had a short list. I really wanted to be with this agency. She's known for being great. So I had my manager pitch me, nothing. I had a friend who's with her refer me, nothing. And I'm like, I know you're not supposed to do this, but like,
Brought a gun.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Squirt gun.
to a knife fight, yeah. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna email her myself. Like it's gonna be like a third reach out within
Yeah.
like 2 weeks. And I pitched myself, and within an hour, I got myself a meeting. And I was like,
Wow.
I don't know what I did differently, but sometimes it is just like going after it a little bit aggressively.
Yeah, because that's what they see. Because that's the thing. I think there's a big misconception of like, I'm an actor. Let me get an agent, and then just hopefully they'll get me the job, and then I'll audition for it and I'll get it, and we'll just build a career.
Yeah.
But when it's this many auditions, this many people going out for these auditions, and how did you even identify that that's who somebody you wanted to be with?
Based on her reputation and like everyone is with her, at some stage. I don't want to name her, but like she's just, I mean, you can easily find out on IMDb, but like she's just one of those who everyone knows, everyone respects her. I even heard intel, I don't know if I should tell this, but I learned recently that there are casting offices who will go for her submissions over Innovative because they know that she's so selective with her pitches, and Innovative will throw everything, is what I've heard.
Wow.
I can't confirm that, but I'm like, and that's just like the first decent agent that I've got. So
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, because I've had different agents or different managers that like, depending on who I was with, the floodgates would open as far as like opportunities and auditions. It was like, wait a second, is this how it could have been the whole time? And then you go out for a whole season, and this is when there was like a whole pilot season and everything. And then you come back the next year, or maybe you switch up your representation, and it's like quiet. And like, wait a second, so why, how it just, but that's why you have to try different things. You have to find a team. You have to be willing to put yourself out there and pitch yourself and do what you have to be seen, so that they see that there's multiple people fighting for you to have this career. And if you're not fighting for it, then like, what are they going to do?
yeah, and it's kind of how they say like no one wants you until someone else wants you.
Yeah.
And so it's like you just have to get that one person who's like, who's going to push you. And
Yeah.
for me, I think that's my manager, because the second I got here, I got really lucky and like by a whim connected with this manager who's like, I'm his first girl, like on his list. I'm like his number one.
Dope.
I can call him anytime, I'll answer. I'll text anytime, I'll answer. And he's like always pushing me, and like he scooped me from nothing. I still have nothing, essentially, like credits wise, network wise. And he's like, I see it for you. And that's the kind of person you need. So like whatever it takes to like find that person.
Yeah. How did you meet Scooter Braun?
We don't need to go into that.
Just like people are like, what's real, what's not real? They're just like searching, watching this. Yeah, that's really interesting. And it is people like this. I believe this is the hardest business in the world. So if you're gonna go after it, it's like finding these different tools, finding the right representation is huge, the right acting class or what have you, to be able to like get your skill set there. But being the most talented actor does not necessarily equate to
it. Almost doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people you see on TV are not, I shouldn't say that, but they're not that great.
Yeah, well, you don't.
Sometimes
you
you
don't have
just,
to be great.
you don't have to be.
Speak your truth,
That's not what it
Molly.
takes to get on TV. Like it's just not.
Yeah.
Maybe it used to be. I don't know.
So I get it.
But that's why, like, yeah, it's like definitely reading the times too. It's like what is going on in this world? Okay, let's say post strike, it's going to be the biggest opportunity to maybe since the streaming wars first began, when Netflix and Apple and everybody was coming out spending all this money. I think Netflix was spending $16 billion on content every year. So it's like this is a new opportunity that up until November or hopefully sooner, whenever this gets figured out, what happens on the other side of that? Who was preparing in that amount of time to then maybe create something that they can then produce next year? Or as the floodgates open, do you have the right team put in place so that as these auditions come and people need, more, so many more opportunities, are you ready for that? So yeah, do you feel like now, based on being an actor in the strike, what has been your mindset?
I've been like buckling down with classes, and I do run a podcast through your lovely studio.
Yeah.
So because of the strike, we can't currently do it because it's promoting movies. So that's something that's also, it's like everything, just the bottom just fell out. So it's like, what do I do? And I'm not the kind of person who can like sit in bed and do nothing, because it will drive me crazy. So I'm doing classes. I'm actually auditioning quite a bit because I'm with this great agent who's still getting me out during the strike, not for like struck stuff. Don't worry, guys. Commercials and whatnot. And I'm doing music stuff. I do comedy stuff. So I try to fill the void, if you will, with other creative things that will, just better position me when the strike is over to like take off running instead of like dusting.
Now I'm ready. Yeah. Because that's the thing too, is like being an actor and doing several auditions, and that being maybe your creative outlet is very tricky as well. Cause like, that's what I loved about, going to see you doing stand up and everything. And I've been somebody that I've always wanted to, but I have so much respect for the art form that I never wanted to just kind of half-ass it.
That's exactly how I was.
And then what happened?
Okay. I never wanted to do stand up, never had a desire, never thought I'd be good at it, like never crossed my mind. Then there was like the whole last year, everyone I knew, people who did not know each other, just knew me, were all telling me to do stand up. They were actually demanding it of me, including my therapist. When it got to therapist, I was like, okay, maybe I'll try it, if only just to get them to stop hounding me. And I know that sounds so, but it was literally like, when are you doing stand up? When are you doing stand up? I'm like, shut up. So I follow this casting director who had called me in for Smosh on Instagram. And I saw that she posted a thing that she teaches a stand-up class. And it was, I was doom scrolling at 2 a.m. as one does. And I was like, okay, why not? Like, sure. Like, I'll take a class because that's no stakes, right? And then I sign up and then I realize it ends in a showcase at Flappers, like it was sold out, full 200 person room. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be terrifying. Like, I got up there. I was like a little nervous when I was on deck. I had the mic in my hand and then I was good to go. And it was like, so I don't want to say easy because I put a shit ton of work into prepping the material, but it felt so like natural and like comfortable. And then from there, she had a bunch of like bookers and promoters at the show who started booking us like right away in big venues. My 5th show I ever did was the Comedy Store. And there was a big sense of like, did I earn this? It felt like a fluke. Like, it felt like I cheated because I have stand-up friends who are really good and they do open mics for a year and they don't even get one of those.
Wow.
And I was like, I feel like I didn't earn this because I kind of need to like have a challenge to feel like I achieved something.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not grateful for it, but
you're also strategic. Like, that's why, like, however you go about something, there's some people that are just really good at life. And being really good at business is like a huge part of being good at life. So if you started off, okay, being an assistant and helping people get different meetings or organization and like scheduling things, and then you put that into your own life and you get that to get your great representation, and you go into comedy, you don't have to like, okay, this is all the different ways that people got to this point. To go the long way doesn't necessarily have to be the way if you can get there sooner, but.
Yeah, and I literally never would have done the other way because I'm not like I still haven't even done an open mic because it's not the same passion for me as like acting. Like acting is something my Michigan accent's coming back. Acting.
My mom and my dad went to acting class.
So actually, with my acting there.
Oh, don't you know?
Oh, we're getting Minnesota there. Yeah. Oh, that's gross. Get it out. Okay, so with acting,
not that there's anything wrong with Minnesota.
Yeah,
we love Minnesota.
Nothing wrong.
Except your accents. We hate them.
I hate disgusting. Just kidding. Acting is one of those things where like I will get, stay up till 2 a.m., learn 15 pages of sides and knock out a self-tape because I like it. Comedy is something where I didn't even have the desire to go do one single open mic because I was like, this is not the same like passion for me. So it was really great to be handed those opportunities, but it kind of did feel like a handout almost. I mean, it probably wasn't. I worked really hard on the material, but I don't know. It just didn't feel the same for me because I was like, I don't know what I'm working towards because I don't want a special. Like, I want a sitcom, which is a big way that you get a sitcom.
Sure, yeah. That used to be the only way.
Totally.
Back in the day.
But I kind of almost felt like I want someone else who lives and dies for this to have this spot, I think.
Well, what was required in the class? Or you sign up and they help you work on a bit? Yeah,
the class was really just helping you find your voice. So like they kind of just like spitball with each other about all these different facts about yourself, and they pick interesting things, and then you craft a set from there and kind of just run it with people. It was very casual. And
you said once you got the mic in your hand, do you think that's because you were a theater kid? Or the singing and everything too? Because that's the thing that I hear a lot of people that have pushed me to do stand-up. They were like, and you already like have hosted and done music, and I'm very comfortable on stage and do a lot of public speaking now too. So it's like, I try to incorporate some funny material within it. And I've only done maybe 2 open mics in my 18 years here. But I do have a hope and a dream, maybe after my second film, to then stop everything but stand-up comedy for a year and like document the process of like putting a bit together and see how far or what I can do and as I discover my voice. So
yeah,
do you think your ability to be comfortable on stage was because of being on stage prior? I
think so, but part of the reason I was nervous was because I hadn't been on stage because of the pandemic in a couple years in any capacity. besides karaoke, which doesn't count.
Yeah, does it?
And I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to jump back into it. And part of it is I rehearsed it down to the breath because I'm a big preparer. So I'm like, I could do this in my sleep if I needed to.
Yeah.
That's part of it. I couldn't just go up there and like half-ass it. But yeah, I don't know. As soon as I get the mic, every time I'm like, good. It's weird.
Wow. And now, okay, so, and we're going to get to kind of more on acting in a second since that's your main thing. Now with music, also seeing you play piano and then the last year go from like, here's a guitar to now you're playing everything.
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable when you get up and play music?
I don't get up and play music.
You never get up and play music.
I've never done an open mic, I don't think, for music.
You've never even done a showcase?
No, I've only done karaoke. Well, I've done professional singing gigs, but as far as my own music, I don't have really my own music. I have like a single.
Right, because you say you don't write.
I've tried. Look, I've tried to write. It doesn't seem like it's a skill that exists within me. And I respect the craft, but I don't think I have that. I would love if someone wrote me a song. Guys, wrote me a song. What'd you say? Oh my God, I heard a whisper in my ear. That's so weird.
We have ghosts, and I hear them whisper my name all the time.
But yeah, so as far as music goes, it's mostly just like covering things or like making mashups.
Yeah. And that's when I was doing, so when, I guess this was in 2000 and maybe like 7, 8, and YouTube, I would always, also because I felt like I had a small window and that I could play music within, because I was like, oh, here's my range. So I would take a song and then just redo it in my way so it felt like an original song.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like my shtick for a while. But your ability and your range being so wide, I feel like you could do so much with that. And yeah, just even thinking about who you are and how creative you are to not be able to write, and like what's kind of stopping you from writing your own song. But you said you have a single? A single?
Oh, it's really old and it's not the best. Every time I try to write, I end up like coming up with like a Nickelback melody on accident. You know what I mean? It's never like, it's something that I can't quite click into finding my own melody.
Yeah.
But I have ideas and I'll put chords together and I'll make sounds. But yeah, the only professional singing thing I did was Taylor Swift, which was quite different. And then
and that was for a commercial?
No, that was in Boston. There was a theme park, and they were known for their tribute acts. So you would go and you would see like Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars, whatever. And I did Taylor Swift there for their country show. So that was like literally like vocally impersonating. But that vocal style is quite different from like what I naturally do.
Yeah.
So as far as songwriting, that's like, maybe that's something in the future that I'll touch on.
Do you think Nickelback gets a bad rap and they shouldn't?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because I'm a Nickelback fan,
Don't
and I've been a
act
Nickelback
like you
fan forever.
all didn't jam out to Rockstar. Okay, everyone likes at least one Nickelback song.
Photograph, Rockstar, like
How You Remind Me.
Oh, this is
Let's not
how-
even.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Like,
Yeah. So is that
I
a
love.
yes?
I love Nickelback.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly, I'm not trying to be like.
No, she does too.
I do
And
too. I actually had an Uber driver berate me or the whole ride for liking Nickelback.
It's the same
it was
as like.
ridiculous.
she's been taking Lyft ever since.
Yeah, as she just rides a scooter now.
Yeah, I walk.
It's the same as when people like everyone hated Taylor Swift like 15 years ago because like the media told them to.
Yeah.
It's the same with the Nickelback. Like you don't actually hate them. You just think it's a bandwagon to be on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Band. Is that what bandwagon is? Because it's a band?
No, I think it's a wagon full of like rubber bands.
I don't think that's true. You add animation in here. Place
Please.
a bandwagon.
question.
Because then is it a bandwagon or would it be like a bandwagon?
I'm coming up blank for this one. This one's actually blowing my mind a little bit. Bandwagon.
I think it's a wagon with the band on it. Like, you know, you're just riding around town.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is bandwagon? Can you actually look that up? Look up what a bandwagon
This is really
is.
important, Charlie.
I'm sorry, I'm crying right now.
But okay, Daughtry or Nickelback, who's better?
Oh,
Daughtry.
man. That's difficult.
Yeah,
Daughtry has some
sure, yeah.
bangers. So the thing about Daughtry is like, you're like, oh yeah, I remember like Home. Okay. But if you go back, there's like 15 bangers that we all know. And like, you don't realize how many amazing songs they have.
I forget
There's
how to play
so
Home.
many.
I forget how to play
So a bandwagon is a wagon used for carrying a band or parade or
Oh.
procession. you see a lot of like
It's like the original
parades.
tour bus.
Basically, yeah, I would say the original tour bus.
And so it's like other people kind of in unison. So it's like when you're in a bandwagon, like Lions fan, when they win the Super Bowl this year, then all the bandwagon fans are jumping on and
Here's
they're
an
kind of
old
like
photo.
believing it.
These are all the past presidents
And because they're in a band.
in a band.
Yeah, the presidents of the United States of America. Do you know that band? Peaches. Peaches for you and peaches for me.
Oh, that's real?
Peaches for you. I think I showed you them before.
Is it kind of like the
Peaches,
Wiggles?
Justin Bieber. Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, no. It's called they were
Like the fruit salad
before
song?
both of your time. But it was called Peaches, and it was the Presidents of the United States of America was the band. And
That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Just
And
imagine
a bandful.
announcing, we are.
We are the presidents of the United States band.
Yeah, it's too much.
I used to play home, but I think it's you have to tune it down
Oh.
a step.
See, that's
By
even
Philip
above
Phillips.
No,
No.
by Daughtry. They would play at the end of
Oh.
every Idol episode when someone left. I'm coming home. That one.
Coming home. I'm coming home to the
think that's
place
it.
where
Yeah.
I belong. Where your love has always been enough for me.
Now she sings because doesn't have a camera on her. I love it.
No.
But I think it's down to have
Miles are
step.
getting longer,
Yeah.
right?
So if you can play, I think it's just.
Oh, like that.
Getting longer. That one? No.
The closer I get to you.
Oh my God, you have such a good voice.
Not always been the best man I've been for you, but your loving means to.
I got the chorus. You just carry the verse.
And I don't know why you always seem to give me another try.
Yes. I'm coming home to the place where I belong, where your love has always been enough for me. Harmonies. I'm not running from. You do the melody.
So I think you got it all wrong.
Yeah.
Don't expect this life you chose for me.
I don't know lyrics. That's my thing.
But
Is
these places and these faces are getting old. But I'm going home.
I didn't realize how country it sounded.
Yeah. That's one thing.
You
I
got to
think-
learn it.
How is
The
it?
chords.
Yeah, pretty sure it's like that, but it's down a half step. You ever tune down a half step? Do you know the trick how to tune down a half step?
No.
So basically, you go like this.
We're gonna cut all this
This is
out.
what we're
Dude,
doing.
also, I have the weirdest thing with, for a singer, this is like stupid. With lyrics, I don't hear lyrics unless it's like a melody that everyone knows. I don't remember a single lyric. I have to like sit down and memorize them.
Oh shoot!
Even popular song, it's so weird. It's like a missing link in my brain.
To tune down a half step, you just put the capo on here, and then you tune it regularly. So you just go boom, boom. Not that this needs to be all on the podcast, but hey, maybe somebody can learn something.
Shit.
This is the intro clip.
I think the reason why I don't feel comfortable singing in public is because I don't think I'm that great, and then also
You are.
I feel like I need a coach.
By the way, you haven't
To
even
help
heard,
me get
you haven't
those-
even heard anything yet. She's not even. It's like not even trying.
Jai.
I think R&B is my
Jaima.
R&B is my sweet spot.
Oh, me too.
Like Keisha Cole.
You know her grandfather wrote "Stick with You" by the Pussycat Dolls.
Really?
He did.
Wow.
He worked with like Shaka Khan and DeBarge and Little Richard and all them. Jessica Simpson.
So this is me tuning it down a half step,
I'm coming home.
and then once you're done, right? Then you take this off, and then that's tuned down a half step.
Now it's even lower out of my range. Miles are getting. You could do it, right?
The miles are getting longer, it seems.
Longer to see.
The closer
Yeah.
I get to you. I was an alto in choir. Not always been the best man I've been for you, but your loving means to.
I don't know why.
I don't know.
But so it's funny because when I first played my first show I ever played, I went back to Michigan like I'm gonna play a show, and I played that song, and I just played really fast because I was so nervous. I was trying to get through it. Miles are getting longer, and like finish it.
It's in double speed.
Just sweating.
1.15.
Yeah. I'm going home. Okay. And sing along if you know the place where I belong.
Nobody else.
They're like, how much coke did you do before this?
Yeah. That was before. That was when I first moved here. That's right when all my friends got into coke in Michigan, and I was like, "What are you guys doing?"
You never had your coke
What
phase?
I didn't. I was
Then you
always
moved to
afraid.
LA and you're like, oh, nobody's not on
Well,
coke.
I realized one time I used to go to the Hyde on Mondays nights and with a friend of mine, and I didn't know that he was the cocaine drug dealer, and everybody was treating us so kind. Got right in, boom, like this is fucking dope.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, oh, we're the drug duo. That was my
Drug duo. That's the name of your next single.
Drug duo.
Even though I guess you know I didn't realize I was a part of it until
We could start a
Until then.
band called Drug Duo.
Hey.
trio probably.
Drug Trio.
I think drug trio sounds great.
Yeah.
What would the drug trio be? Cocaine, Molly,
Meth.
and no, meth is a bit.
Well, we have to
Cocaine,
have a
Molly,
big
and
hitter.
weed.
We gotta have a
Meth.
big
That's
hitter.
a trio that like is pretty
We need-
acceptable.
Meth, Molly, and something that starts with a J.
Jane,
There's-
like Mary Jane.
Oh
Juice.
yes, meth, Molly, and Jane.
Yeah, it just rolls off the tongue.
Mark your meth.
Meth
See-
Mark.
Yeah, meth Mark.
Methy Mark. And I've always said that. Yeah.
Thank
Swiss
you.
one.
Thank you. All right. Yeah. Let's see. So, if you could do anything in the world as an actor, what's the show that would revolve around Molly starring in a TV series or a film, or a combination of movies or TV shows?
My favorite showrunner ever is Amy Sherman Palladino. I think she's a genius. I think she actually created a new genre of television.
What has she done?
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Gilmore Girls, Bunheads. I'm a big fan of Gilmore and Maisel. But yeah, like my ultimate thing, like dream role, show, whatever, would be like a lead in something that she writes that would be like one of those universes where it's kind of like a comedic West Wing style. Like if you're not familiar with her writing style, but it's like
that's how you would describe it. A comedic West Wing?
kind of, yeah. It's like it's like double pace. Like she's known for her scripts being 90 pages, but they're 40-minute episodes.
Oh wow!
So that's literally like a style you have to be able to talk that fast and blah blah blah. And like that's programmed my brain to be on that level all the time. But she's my favorite. I think she's genius. So I think it would be that.
Wow.
I would love to have like a sitcom, but like ultimately that would be the dream.
Yeah. Because West Wing was like a long time ago, right?
Yeah, I just mean like Sorkin-esque
She didn't
style.
she didn't do West Wing,
No.
right? But Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and then you said Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, which was like
Just beyond, like,
yeah.
Your cadence is definitely Gilmore Girls.
I think it's because I've watched so much of her material that it started to seep into my pores.
Yeah.
And my internal organs.
Just your regular voice. You are very Gilmore Girls. I can see.
Yeah, but I can also see based on like as a creative, the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel as well. That's very interesting. Yeah, that's wow. Well,
Yeah, it's a
okay,
great show.
prepared for the question.
I don't know.
It's like I didn't even
But
really
I
think
would.
about it, but
I would love to do like a, well, I guess single or multi doesn't matter, but like star in a sitcom. Like I think that would be the ultimate.
yeah.
That or Maisel.
Well, yeah, because
and
I think that's like the biggest transition is, and that's why like you're one of my favorite people to text about, like, or like is like joke back and forth with, because it's always like it's never not sarcastic, at least a dash of sarcasm.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe more of a splash than a dash.
Just a skosh.
More, yeah.
A sprinkling.
But yeah, so like that's why like from how we met, it was like, oh, thanks so much for your help and stuff, and like organizing things, and like, oh wait, you're actually fucking super talented and dope. Like
That's the funny thing is I work with a lot of people who I also am like in a creative industry or space with, but it's
Yeah.
like I have to do like such fast like switching back from like professional and like, and then I'm like we're like off air, so to speak, and then I can be like totally like unfiltered, and then I go back and forth.
dicks. like,
You know, and
Am I
that's what I'm
right?
known for. Yeah. Saying, but yeah, like when you first met me, I was also like, you know, still kind of like more introverted when I was in Michigan because I was still kind of in that box that everyone wanted me to be in. I was just doing my little like assistant thing, which I'm still doing. But now it's like I came here and I was like, oh, I can like be all
That's
these things.
exactly how I felt.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like you were put in a box in Michigan? Is it just based on like?
I think it's just like Midwest culture. Like, for example, like you said, I was a theater kid. I did probably 15, 20 plays. Like I was always an actor, but like my senior year of high school, I was actually scouted and offered a theater scholarship. And I was like, oh, that's nice. But I can't do that. Right, guys?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And like no one encouraged me to do it. They were all like, oh, that's cool, but you're going to go to community college, right? And then transfer to a university? Like everyone. So I was like, I never even considered acting.
Were your grades good in high school?
Yeah, they're fine.
So why community college first?
Save money. I got through college with no debt. But so yeah, like I went to
Me
community
too.
college. Hell yeah.
I went to half a semester of community college and moved, but
Okay, well.
I was like, fuck college. I'm going to go get myself into credit card debt.
Yeah, well, that came shortly after for me. But I did 4 years of community college.
Wow. You love community college.
I hated every second.
Which community college?
Oakland,
Schoolcraft?
OCC.
Oh, I went to Schoolcraft.
It was like 5 minutes away from my high school.
Schoolcraft was? Or OCC?
OCC.
Oh, okay.
You went to Schoolcraft. That's funny.
Yeah.
But all that to say, like, and I was so miserable, but that by the end, by year 3 out of 4, I was like, I'm going to just like maybe go back to something that made me happy for like 1 second. And I dipped my toe back into acting. And then I was like, I started doing film in Detroit and I was like, it just took off. And I was like, I'm going to do this because if I don't, I'll be so miserable.
Is that when there was the tax incentive in Detroit too?
No, that was way before my time. I think, or that was while I was still in high school, which when I wasn't doing film.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the culture there. It's like no one would ever have encouraged me to be an actor. So I had to be miserable enough as a non-actor to decide to do it. And I remember when I went to like pick up my degree, because I did not go to graduation. I was like, absolutely not, fuck that noise. They're like, congrats, here's your liberal arts degree. By the way, you also got a second degree because you took so many electives. Here's your general studies degree.
Wow.
I was like, okay, great, useless. They're like, what are you going to do with these? And I'm like, nothing, I'm going to be an actor. And he's like, what? And I left. And I was like, bye.
Who are you talking to?
Like the counselor guy
Oh, okay.
who was like just like signing the thing and handing me the diploma.
It's like an 8-year-old kid like handing out. He's like, hey, here you go. You're like, fuck you, kid. I'm going to LA.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But yeah, it is that because I got very lucky because of my great uncle. And I didn't realize like my grandfather was a painter and like had some like ideas for inventions and entrepreneurship and stuff. And my dad painted some too, but never like, you know, it was more about just work. And I remember thinking at a point like, oh fuck, I'm going to go and work and make countertops and cabinets with my dad. And then I felt like, oh, I don't really want to do that, but I can't let them down.
Right.
And then he sold the business and I was like, whew, okay. I don't even know if I ever told, I think I told my mother that, but not my dad, but his dad was the painter. And, you know, now my dad's on a search to find all of his paintings in Michigan. Because they found one for like $100 in Ohio. And they went and got it for me. It's on the wall downstairs.
Oh, no way.
But he is like a prominent artist there. And then his brother at 26 decided to be a ballet dancer and then toured the world and taught Madonna and Nicole Scherzinger and stuff. So he was teaching at Wright State University. So at my graduation party, I was like, what are you going to do, Mark? I was like, I'm going to go to Wright State University and get a bachelor's in fine arts. Yeah. They're like, oh, that's awesome. Cool. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, I don't really need an acting degree to be the best actor. So eventually I did like, you know, some classes and took music or like singing and some dancing and stuff. And then I went to go see the college and I was like, I ain't trying to be in Ohio for another 4 years.
Like,
with that
what
weather.
could be worse? Yeah. No offense, but like, I'm sorry. When you live in the Midwest your whole life, you're like, get me out actually now, or I'm gonna have to end it. If you're not made for it. Some people like that, and they just want to settle down.
And it's comfortable, and they like the seasons.
They like
and stuff.
the comfortable. Yeah.
I was allergic. I was like low key.
Just to the whole state.
Yeah. But then when I wanted to go, my parents were super supportive and like, yeah, let's go do it. And then the time, I don't know if I ever told you this, but when we came to Sunset Boulevard, my dad and we stayed off of Santa Monica in West Hollywood down the street, but we went to Sunset Boulevard. We were walking down the street to see if this is where I wanted to stay. And I thought LA was going to look like downtown LA. I got here. I was like, oh, this is Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And I'm walking down Sunset Boulevard and I look over and it's two girls outside the Standard, or two stand-ins. I didn't know what stand-ins were, but I saw Haley and Hillary, and then Hillary Duff and Haley Duff came out and they did their commercial for this like like gum thing or whatever. And I was like, oh shit, like fucking Hillary Duff's right here. I'm like, oh man, I'm down. I'm staying. This is
You're
it.
sold.
And then I did.
Sign.
And then, yeah, that was like my way of like, okay, this is like my confirmation that this is right. Was there
It
a
was
time?
Hillary Duff, yeah.
It was Hillary Duff
For us
well,
all.
Well, because she came to the Ronald McDonald Foundation, and we had to be like security for her at Sportway in Westland, Michigan. And I remember being there and be like, oh my God, it's like a celebrity, and like, oh, this is like, you know, Lizzie McGuire. And you know, I was only like 16 at the
It's
time.
so different in Michigan, where it's like, you know, just not a thing.
Yeah.
Unless you're like Eminem
Yeah.
or Kid Rock.
Exactly, or Kid Rock.
But yeah, then you come here and you're like, every time I go to Whole Foods, I see a celebrity.
Yeah,
Like, okay.
yeah. So then coming here the first day, seeing her, I'm like, oh, like she was just there. She's here. Oh, I'll just do this too.
I see.
Yeah. So that's why it was a little bit more so. So was there when did you decide LA was going to be the move, and then was it like an easy move for you?
I don't know how much of this I should say, but they won't listen to this. Okay, I booked a feature film in whatever year it was in Detroit in like December. We filmed, and it was cast all out of LA except for me and like 2 other girls, I believe. And it was really fun. It was like a dinner party kind of comedy. It was like right up my alley, and I was like a supporting character or whatever. And when we go to film, oh my gosh, my accent keeps coming back. And when we go to film, these actors show up. No hate to them. I love all of you guys. They're not gonna listen to this, but no one knew their lines. They were learning them 5 seconds before we were rolling, and we were shooting comedy very similar to Amy Sherman Palladino style, where it was like, and it was like 12 pages on a roll, no cut. So it was like you can't mess up. You just can't.
Yeah, it's theater.
And they were learning it 5 seconds before. They were hiding sides, and I was like, that's my competition.
Wow.
It's like competition. And that sounds really vain, but I was so used to the level, I guess, that I had seen in Detroit, where everyone was always super prepared, really professional, which is kind of ironic. But they showed up, and it was like me and the one girl from Michigan were upstairs in this house we were filming in, doing the one scene that was just us. We knocked it out in like 15 minutes, and the crew goes, can we just give them more scenes? They're the only ones who are prepared.
Wow.
And so I had a great time, and I love all of them. There's no hate against it. I'm just saying to say it was kind of illuminating. And so when they all left, I was like, what am I doing here? Like, if that's like, not to say like, oh, that's my competition, but I mean, like, I felt in that moment, I was like, oh, I feel like I can do it now. Because I had this image of like these big LA actors who were like, oh, they're so good, and they're like on a different level than me. And I'm like, no, actually, I think I could hold my own there. Yeah. And so like that, after that was wrapped, I like set a year, like a date a year from that date to move. And I just spent that time like working, saving up, and actually it wasn't that difficult of a move because it was in the middle of the pandemic, which should have been like horrifying, but like it just worked out really well. Like I planned a lot for it, and things fell into place. I already had a lot of friends here. Yeah,
because if it was September and then you decided the September before, that was before COVID, and then COVID hits, and then you go right like maybe on like a little dip in the pandemic.
I don't remember.
I thought you were here before.
It was
that,
September 2020, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it happened in March 2020, no? Or 2021?
I don't know. It's all a blur.
Yeah.
It's all a blur, but
close enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that's why for me I was so hard-headed that I didn't like. I had friends that wanted to move with me, and the last minute they couldn't do it, and then I heard people talking about like, oh, he's not gonna do it, and then I was like, okay, watch.
That's the other thing. As like, I need a motivator. So I told everyone I'd be gone by the winter, and they're like, yeah, right. And I was like, if I'm not gone, the embarrassment, the shame will kill me. So that was the motivator. I was like, to like not have to experience that.
I need give me a chip on my shoulder and watch me work.
100%.
But you can't. But what I'm realizing now within like therapy and everything too is like, okay, that's a nice like jump start, but you can't ride that for life.
Yeah.
Like it's still like can activate, but it can't be your sole like pusher for everything, because then
I don't know.
You think it's good or bad?
I think if it works for you, do it. I mean, unless it's toxic to your personality and the way you grow, then yeah. But I feel like it's saying to everyone, hey, I'm going to do this by a certain time, does kind of hold you accountable.
Yeah, it's smart. It's super smart. But I'm just saying, like, so for me now, and I think this is also being like really small growing up, is like I'm always trying to like prove myself. So it's like a nice little chip that stays with me. But if you have a chip on your shoulder and you keep on, I'm just trying to prove everybody wrong your whole career, then that's where I think the toxic parts come.
Yeah, because then you're never gonna never gonna get
and
past
you're never
that.
happy. So now I feel like now that I've kind of let that go
You're
and
gonna
gotten
get an
over
ulcer.
everything. Yeah. I'm just trying to like, just stay in the moment, live in the now.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to live in
Find
the
your
now.
center.
I found my center. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to live in the now.
Focus on your breath.
Namaste. Stop, guys. I actually go to yoga.
Of course you do.
You would. Just kidding. Just
No,
kidding.
yoga's
I
amazing.
did. I went like yesterday.
No, yoga's amazing. I love yoga.
I have nothing against yoga.
Yeah.
Yoga has everything against me, but whatever.
Mm-hmm. So if you would give somebody three tips to moving to LA, it would be tell everybody that you're leaving.
100%.
And what are the other two things?
Save up at least 10K, but I only had 5K, I think, to like do it.
I saved 10 and then I
Okay, show
prolonged
off.
I prolonged my move and spent 2 and then went to the hospital and almost died. So I came here with
course.
$4,000 worth of debt. So I was at about
There you
$4,000.
go. Okay, well, we all have our
asthma attack. So fuck it. Don't fuck your plans up. But
You should have planned better for that.
I should have. Don't clean the basement.
Yeah, I would say, tell everyone you're leaving. Have at least 5K.
Yeah.
Just don't have less than that.
Because once you buy your futon and a vacuum, you're fucked.
I would say like have your work situation lined up, but I was very fortunate in that I freelance and I could bring my self-employed stuff with me. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably really hard to come here and like find a job frantically, but that's probably the biggest thing.
That's what I think a lot of people get into like the waiting tables industry or bartending because it's like that nice cash and all that. But yeah, I think
That was one of the worst times of my entire life was waitressing.
yeah. Was
So
it
I
in
would
LA
not-
or there?
No, it was in Michigan. I would never ever do it
Is
again.
it at Chili's?
No, it was a fine dining restaurant. It was like a family owned.
They have those there?
Literally.
It wasn't like Mediterranean
Well, it was-
or
I'm sorry, it was
Coney
a
Island.
fine dining. It was the most ratchet place on the inside, but
Nice.
So I actually ended up rage quitting that job, which it's not in my character, but it was so
Tell me how.
oh my God. Okay. This place was incredibly toxic.
J. Alexander's. Do you know that place?
No. Oh yes, I do.
That's fine. That's fine dining, I think.
I was thinking Texas Roadhouse.
It was
but-
like it was
I think we
seafood
went,
fine
yeah.
dining.
Oh, nice.
It was like it was incredibly toxic. It also ruined my health because it was like abusive. I could have sued them for 10 things, but I was fine.
You just sued him for one?
Yeah, just half of them actually. So anyway, there was like this is kind of a long story, but to make a long story longer, we had one of those secret shopper reports one night, and I loved working carry out because it was my own little corner and I didn't have to talk to my new people. And we got dinged a couple points because the kitchen messed something up, and there was like 1 point dinged because I could have been a little bit nicer apparently. Okay.
I can see that.
Okay, sure. But the girl, my friend who was working that night with me, who wasn't even there when it happened, she got reamed. She got just cussed everything. So I'm like, oh my God, I really have it coming, and I didn't even do anything. So no one ever believed me that this GM was like horrible to me. So this is legal in Michigan. It's not in some states. It's legal in Michigan. I started recording on my phone when he called me into the office. And the whole time I was so calm. I was like, okay, what's up? And he just starts yelling at me and like and he's like, and I'm like, what do you like want from me? He's like, I don't know what he even said, but he was like, the report says you could have been more engaging and it's your fault that where you got this blah, blah. And I'm like, it's a 98.
You got
Like,
98?
It was like a very good score. I'm like, we're not gonna die. Like, and I literally, I'm like, I don't know what you want from me other than to take your anger out on me, which I didn't even say. And he goes, you know what? You don't have to work carry out anymore, which was like his way of punishing me because like that was the only position I liked. And I go, okay, then I quit. And he's like, fine. And I hand him the paper back and I run out. And then like 15 minutes later, I get a call from the other manager. He's like, Molly, please come back. He didn't know you were going to do that. And I'm like, oh, so you're doing his dirty work now? And he's like, he asked all my friends. He's like, can you get Molly to come back? I didn't know she was going to quit. Anyway, long story. But after that, I fell into freelancing on accident. Started doing this virtual assistant work, which I didn't even know what it was. But someone recommended me for it. They're like, you'd be good at this. And I'm like, oh, wait, actually, this is pretty easy for me. And I've been doing it for like 7 years. And I've never worked for anyone ever since.
Wow, that's so smart. Oh, man, I have a similar story. But my score was way worse. I was bartending out here and real cool with like the GM and everything. Everybody was like whatever. And we started getting secret shoppers. And the month before I got like a 92. So I was fine, but the rule was
the end of the world.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't too bad.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. So I'm working on a Sunday shift by myself. And I'm bartending, but I also have I'm bartending, but I'm also doing like the drinks for the well, and I have different tables and stuff too. I used to fucking kill on Sundays. Mm-hmm. But they secret shot me the month before, And you don't get hit twice in a row, do you? So I'm there, but like I don't have time to ask all the questions, and it became a corporate restaurant. So and also I don't care. Yeah. I'm here to make money and like joke around and have fun, but I'm not hitting all the points. I was not the best waiter when it came to being like, this is, you know, all that, and like this is how they, you know, make this kind of sauce, and you know,
No,
I can't even.
It's ludicrous.
I can't even act like what I would say to them about how they cook something because I didn't care so much.
No.
So the next like Tuesday, I went into work, and one of the other managers goes, "Hey, you know, boss he wants to talk to you in the office." And I'm like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me! I got secret shopped again." He's like, I go in, I got like a 65 or something, right? I missed all the points because I was so busy and I didn't care. But so I sit in, and this is like my homie at the time, and he's like, "Sit down, read this." He's trying to act all tough now, right? So I sit down, I read the whole thing, and I like took my time to read it. And I get to the bottom of it, I'm like,
You took your time.
"Hell yeah, I've been there like 10
like
minutes.
a cup of
Yeah,
coffee.
Yeah. Hey, do you mind?"
He's like, actually, I
"When
need
did
to
you
rewarm this. It got cold.
Yeah, when did you start smoking? I'm like, shut up. So I read to the bottom, and he's like, "All right, so tell me what you think." I was like, "Sounds like they had a good time. I just missed a couple of points." And he's like, "Well, I'm glad you think it's funny. You have to retake all the tests and pass them, and you can't work again until you do that. It's 2 weeks of training I have to do."
No, they take it so seriously.
And I was also working in the tax business. So I was working during the day and doing that at night and like crushing it all summer long, right? So then he tells me I have to retrain, and I said, "Nah, fuck that. I'll quit." And he goes, "Oh, okay. All right." I was like, "Do you want me to put my 2 weeks? You want me to write it on the back of this? You want me to mail it in?" He goes, "Write it on the back of this." So I'm like, whoosh. And I do the whole thing. I'm taking my time with the whole thing.
You're like, "You got a pen?"
Yeah. And I go, and then afterwards
He writes it in calligraphy.
He's like,
like, "Where did you get that?"
A feather pen.
And then so I go, but I said, "Hey, listen, this Friday is me and Tom's last shift working together. Can I just want to work one more shift with him. I've been working with him for 7 years." He's like, "All right." So I go do the whole thing. I gave the bar away. Everybody got buy one, get one free. Like I was like, you know, I was just having a good time and everything. And then afterwards he texted me. He's like, "Hey, I don't want you to quit," all this stuff. And I was like, "Well, I'm not retraining in 2 weeks."
Yeah.
And I was too busy with the other job too. So I was making good money. I didn't need the work. And then I was like, he's like, "All right, fine. Retrain for 3 days. And then blah, blah, blah." He's like, "I can't just, you know, let you slide." I'm like, "I'll do 2 days, but I'm going to do it at Universal. It was another restaurant, the same restaurant." So I went there, made some friends, and I came back like a month later, and everybody's like, "I thought you quit." I came back, got my shifts, and everything was fine again.
Hey, that's a way to play it.
Yeah,
For me,
yeah.
I just sent the recording to everyone.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. They were like, "Oh shit."
Damn. See, LA, I couldn't record.
Yeah, no, you can't do that here.
Wow.
It's not legal.
Can you record phone calls in Michigan too?
Yeah, Michigan is a single party consent, so you can record with only one consent, which would be your own. But here it has to be both parties consent.
See, I recorded a conversation with somebody.
That's so stupid.
With somebody I was yelling at for Jai once, and I couldn't use it.
But I think that's so dumb because like it kind of moots the point.
I mean, I guess you can't use it in court, but
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it depends
yeah.
what you need to use it for.
Yeah.
If it's for personal safety or something, you know, like.
Or imagine you get like kidnapped, and you're like they're like, "Hey, I don't consent to that."
Your Honor, I was tied up in the back of the truck.
I didn't
It's a
consent
single
to being
party.
tied up, so I don't really know what you mean.
Yeah, right.
Man, but yeah, I love quitting. I love that quitting job stories are really good. I quit another restaurant and yelled at a customer. It was my last out of a
so
restaurant.
good. I bet it felt so good.
Yeah,
Feels so good.
And then you
Especially
go home and cry.
if they were dicks to you first. Like this guy was like bitching about everything that was there, and I wouldn't even want to be at work, and I started saying like, "Okay, what about this? Is this not melted too much? Or is it melted?" Like, don't give me like I grew up as a short kid and could only, you know, use my words to fight back.
Yeah.
So that's what I did in waiting tables too.
100%. Yeah. It's not. I don't know why I thought it was fine to stay at such a horrible. It was one of those things where it's like sexual harassment, verbal, like everything. Every Sunday, like you said, that was the moneymaker when you have the brunch and everything. But they would make me work every single Sunday, 12 hours straight. They would not let me stop to drink water. Like I would get yelled at, no breaks, nothing. And of course, now on a film set, I'm like, okay, that's nothing. But before, I had worked that muscle.
You can't drink water?
No, I would literally get yelled at. I'm like, he's like, "Why are you stopping?" because it was like so. I'm like,
the
we're
fine
not.
dining is very.
We're not gonna die.
Yeah.
Like they'll get their lobster parm. Like calm down. And
Yeah,
also
lobster
that,
parm?
I don't know. It was like
doesn't sound great.
that was one of those pretentious places where you have to like have a warm washcloth and wash their hands. I never once. I said I'm not doing that.
You wash the client's hands?
You're
Or the
supposed to.
customers?
You're supposed to. You're supposed to wash. Put your hands out. This is what I was supposed to do after you're done with your lobster. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I see. I can't do it.
Also, I don't think they want that.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm not
would.
gonna bib them. So what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna sell them lobster. That's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna avoid that.
Anything on the list, we're out of lobster.
Like no.
Before this podcast, I went and got my manicure and pedicure, and they put a nice warm towel on me. I was like,
Yeah.
so actually, I would prefer that.
Yeah,
After
How
your
but
dare
lobster.
you not do that?
Other than that, I was a superb employee. I'll
I
have
bet.
you know.
I bet. You probably, because
I take everything too seriously. Because I'm like, this is stupid. This is a stupid restaurant job, but I'm gonna work so hard that they put me in charge of everything for 12 hours straight because no one else wants to do it.
Yeah,
Like it was
yeah.
just stupid.
No, yeah, you're a good worker.
Thank you.
Jai's a really good worker too.
I think that's a Midwest thing too.
Yeah, I was too, but it just got to the point where I didn't take it. Like I said, I wasn't in depth with stuff. Like I didn't know what was in things.
see, is you
Yeah.
you always end up quitting until you get fired, and that really hurts.
I've never been fired.
I've never been fired.
I
You've
got
been fired?
once, and then never again. I was like, that's the last time I get fired because it hurt so bad. It was
Really?
so it was just
What'd you
out
get
of the
fired
blue.
for?
So I was working a luxury job on Rodeo Drive. I was the top seller in my store. Amazing clients, amazing. I was amazing, and we got a new GM, a new manager, and he came from Dior, and he came from this Dior is like very like clean cut, and so our workplace in Dior were completely different. We were like, hey, it's a family coming in here, right? A lot less lax, and a lot more lax. Until one day, I made like a huge like $20,000 sale like that day. And he's like, Jai, you did so good. Like, that was a crazy sale. Like, yeah, it was. Like, can't wait for the next one. He's like, oh, can you help me like with something upstairs? And we had a rooftop upstairs. And we actually had some woman from HR there, but she was saying that she was there like teaching us some new practices and everything like that. And then he's like, can you come upstairs? So we go up in the elevator. We're shooting the shit in the elevator.
Oh, that
Oh,
motherfucker.
and then I just like make a huge sale, and I'm like top seller of the month. He's like, hey, they sit me down. I'm like, there's a second girl. He's like, so this is the last day you'll be working with us. Heart dropped. I
How?
cried on the bus on the way home. I had like an hour and a half.
Why did they fire you?
They didn't tell me.
Oh.
I sued them later.
You're welcome for
Don't
the
worry.
$20,000 sale.
Yeah, I sued them later, but they didn't tell me. They were just like, yeah, like it's not working. I'm like, I'm the top seller of the store. I did not understand.
Why
it's
did you
basically
sell
like
so much?
it's like say Mark broke up with me right now out of nowhere. That's how it felt. Like you don't know what's going. That nothing was wrong.
After some good sex or something, like, hey,
Yeah. Ooh, so that was the last
is
time we're
over.
gonna have sex. So, Jai, that's the last time we're gonna have sex. Just so you know,
Ever.
It's like I start smoking in.
Also, can you
When did you
please
start
close the
smoking?
door on your way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, make sure you take off your uniform, and we'll see you never.
Your replacement is downstairs. Can you show her parking?
Basically. Traumatizing.
Oh my god. Yeah. See, can't do it.
Never.
Dude.
I'll never get fired again.
Never.
I think also those jobs are hard for creatives because we're just not so cut and dry.
Yeah.
Like brained.
That's why I like the waiting tables, because you go sling pancakes and then go into the back and be like, all right, what the fuck, we're gonna shoot today. We're gonna make happen. Like come up with
Yeah.
creative ideas, and that's what I really love about waiting tables in LA, is because all the other creative up and comers that are hungry. Are all talking about creating stuff. That's where I built my family out here. And now like some of my closest friends from 20 years, it's wild. But over the years now that I've been here 18 years, it's like looking at the Midwest and seeing like Chicago and Detroit. I'm like, man, when we go back, I love it there. I do love that, like the slow pace and being able to disconnect and like go right near a lake.
Yeah.
Any
it
of them.
can definitely be a nice break.
Any of the lakes.
For me though, the last time I went to Michigan, I was ready to leave before I picked up the rental car.
Really?
Yeah. But I mean, also I've only been gone 3 years, so it's like, I don't know.
And you have a lot of family in Michigan?
Well, my parents just moved literally yesterday to Florida.
Really?
So I
Oh,
just
nice.
have two sisters left there, and one of them will probably leave soon. So almost everyone.
Is anybody
family-wise
else
is gone.
creative there?
No, my mom is an illustrator, but you know, she kind of stopped
Really?
to have kids and everything. And she did a bunch of children's books, and she actually got a
That's
job out
amazing.
of college drawing tanks for the army. So she dropped out of college to do that.
Really?
So
So you had some creative genes.
yeah, a little bit, yeah. But yeah, everyone else is like engineer or, you know.
That might be the straight edge version of you is the engineer and
Half engineer,
the serious
half
Molly
illustrator.
comes from the type A.
There's zero shred of DNA in me that's an engineer. I'll tell you what.
Really?
No.
I always thought I had I wasn't great at school because I would read something and not be able to comprehend it. But I just wasn't interested in it. But I was always like, man, I could just either be a lawyer. I thought about like law would be interesting because it's kind of like acting in a way.
And you're
Yeah.
argumentative. So you
And
could
I
be
wasn't most argumentative in high
Yeah.
school. But I do remember a point in time where I was like, I don't know, was I already in LA? I was like, oh, you know what? If I would have went to college, I think I could have went into like advertising and marketing and stuff. And then years later, creating a digital media agency, I was like, I kind of did that without even meaning to.
I had the same thing. I was trying so hard to I was like subconsciously denying like the acting part of me, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll go to marketing or like I'll be a news anchor, like anything that was like close to it. But then I was like, no, just do it.
Yeah, it's after seeing Anchorman, I can't watch any news.
Wait,
Like
unpack
just
that.
how people speak, like the cadence that you have to be a news anchor.
So interesting. Do they train that into them?
It's wild.
This is
And
the
like,
Rodriguez project.
must.
Yeah, or like today and like I have a little bit of a radio from doing podcasts and stuff that I kind of like. Welcome to the Rodriguez project and
That's
make it like
different
a thing.
though than
Yeah,
like,
but it's like
tonight on the street. Like it's like such a weird,
Yeah.
almost an accent they put on. It's like it's like an old news kind of style. I don't even know if we still need that kind of media.
yeah, it feels
can
like
move on.
Yeah, it feels like it's like a dated way of doing it, and some people make it pass better. Like Evrad Casimir, you know who Evrad is, that did Channel 4 News with Rhonda Walker. But he went to Chicago. But he has like he's a good friend of mine. But he's like how his cadence, it doesn't feel too newsy. But I think over the next decade, I think it is like news. I don't know. All right, let's take a quick little break from the show to talk about our amazing sponsors, XYKO. XYKO.co is their website, and XYKO.go is their social media platforms. But we're so stoked about this partnership. This is their first product. It's this minimalistic design for their wallet. I've had several of these, but this design has been the easiest, like a little lighter flick, boom, right back in your pocket. Minimalistic, modernized, and just everywhere I go, people ask me where the hell I got this from, and it's XYKO, XYKO.co. But what does that mean? The underlying desire to live your life, to make things happen, and that's exactly what we're about at Mastermynd. So we are so stoked to be working with them. So check them out, XYKO.co. Also, Ink Detroit. Ink Detroit make this hat. They make all of our merchandise. They do hats, they do t-shirts, they do hoodies, you name it, they do it. And they work in Detroit, but they ship to all over the nation as well. So please check them out, inkdetroit.com, and Ink Detroit on all social media platforms as well. So if you're a business or you're a brand and you need to get stuff made on a bunch of different kinds of clothing, check them out. They will take care of you and let them know that Mastermynd sent you. Lastly, before we get back in the show, what do we do at Mastermynd? People see Mastermynd Media like, who the hell, what is this? Is this just a podcast studio? Partially, yes, we do podcasts here at Mastermynd. We're in Los Angeles. This is one of our newest ventures, but social media management, graphic design, logos, pitch decks, you name it. We do a digital production, interviews. Check us out on Mastermynd. That's MASTERMYND media.com. But if you're in Los Angeles and you're looking for a place to do podcasts, yes, we do that. And we're so stoked to be doing podcasts. There's so many cool people in Los Angeles, and the conversations that happen at this table it's been amazing. So if you're looking for somebody, you're looking for a partner to the digital world, look no further. Please give us a call. We'd love to help you out. That's mastermindmedia.com. And let's get back into the show. It's definitely like, hey.
Let's see if the notes are here today. She said it's cold outside and she hands me my raincoat. Mashup. Say goodbye, these days are gone, and we can keep holding on, 'cause I believe but you feel so, yeah, you wanna, but she's so mean, you'll never let her go. Why won't you let her go? Hey, the queen of New York City, take 'em all down with me, 'cause I'm gonna run this town when you're gone. Maybe it's time to come home. Ben, can you help me? I'm so scared that I'll never get put back together. Yeah, straight up, what did you hope to learn around here? If I was someone else, would it all? It's been a long day. Always ain't that right? Reach down your hand in your pocket, pull out some hope for me. I wanna push you around. Well, I will. Well, I will. I wanna push you down. Well, I will. Well, I'm not crazy. I'm just a little unwell. I know right now you can't tell, but hang around and maybe then you'll see. It's 3 a.m. I must be lonely. She says, baby, I can't help but be scared of it all. Sometimes if the rain's gonna wash away, I believe it.
The fact that you fit that many Matchbox 20 songs in a 1-2 minute mashup.
That's the product
was
of
so
chronic
fucking awesome.
insomnia.
That's crazy.
That is so amazing.
Do you
That
know
was
what?
so amazing.
Do you know what 3 a.m. is really about?
Oh, you told me this. Wasn't it like his mom or
I think it's
something about
mom
his
and cancer or something. Yeah, she said it's cold outside and hands me my raincoat. So always worry about things like that. Yeah, it's like it's
like that. Yeah. You would think it's about like a girl. Also like Push, like, you know, Barbie just made it popular. But
Yeah.
I never knew what that was about. I always like, that's kind of a weird take, but it's about like his ex-girlfriend, how she treated him. I wanna push you around. Well, I will. Well, I will. I wanna push you down. Well, I will. Well, I will. Oh, I'm going to the mashup. I wanna take you for granted. I wanna take you for granted. Yeah, well, I will. Well, I will. Anyway,
damn.
I love Matchbox so
Me too.
much.
All right, thanks for shooting the shit.
Yeah, thanks for
with
having
us.
me.
Yes. Yeah, tell everybody where they can follow you at Molly Gibson, the Molly Gibson.
Yes, the Molly Gibson on Instagram, at Prime Gib on TikTok.
Would you like more mics?
Yes. Yeah, everywhere else, just Molly Gibson.
Nice.
Nice.
What's next for you?
It's a good question.
Writing your first song?
I'm gonna try. I think I'll try.
Come back on Mastermynd Music and play it.
Yeah, but it's gonna be really dark. It's something I wrote at like 2 a.m. and
That's
like
my whole life. Is just dark shit.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Check out my podcast, Confessions of a Millennial
Yes.
Drama Queen.
It's so good.
Filmed here.
It's so good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's really fun to do.
And it has I can't wait till everybody knows about it because I know you guys have had some videos that have gone viral and it's super unique. But tell everybody what it is and what it's about.
Yeah, so it's obviously a nod to the amazing movie Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen. Wait, do people look at this camera?
Yeah.
Do I need, okay.
Do people?
Okay, anyway, my podcast is about 90s and early 2000s nostalgia. Every movie we cover a week. By we, I mean me, my two friends, Katrina and Rachel. Or have a special guest on. Sometimes they're musical guests, sometimes they're actors. We're just getting started. But yeah, we've had a couple clips go viral. We've had a couple episodes do really well. So yeah, we're getting rolling. So hop on the early train if you want to be an OG fan. We're gonna have merch coming soon. It's gonna be a whole thing.
Yeah.
Patreon.
The aesthetic, everything is so dope. And
Thank
there's so
you.
many people that love that era of movies.
It's classic nostalgia core.
Yeah. And that's what
Yeah.
does well on the internet.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just blowing up.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thanks for doing this. Thanks,
Yeah.
Jai, for running the board.
Thanks, Jaima.
And
It was
this is the
super fun.
most she's ever sang ever in her life in front
Really?
of anybody ever.
Jai, let's go do karaoke.
I'll do karaoke.
I'm literally going
I don't
tomorrow
take
if you
myself
wanna come
serious,
with.
so
We have a Grammy award-winning
time?
producers that come in here every different podcasts, and then they hear that she can sing, but she won't do it, and they're like, "Well, if you want, come into a session one day." I'm like, literally getting more opportunities than any than other singers that are just trying to
Oh my
do
gosh.
it. she's like actively not trying to do it, and it's happening. So no, well, I can't wait to see what's next for you. Thank you so much for coming on and shooting the shit with us. And we'll see you all next time. Peace.